on the debate in Tuscaloosa, Alabama in October, because at that point he will have lost even more ground in the polls, in my view. And that's all Donald Trump cares about, is looking at the latest poll that he can see, and determining his conduct, not by what's right, not by what's fair to the Republican voters, but by he perceives in his personal interest. That's why he has no business being president again. But that's why I think he may show up in Alabama. But I do not expect to see him at the Reagan Library on September 27th.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for Yellowhammer. Now, time to talk about the potential of a GOP debate in the state of Alabama. It sounds awesome to me. I live in the state of Alabama, and there were a couple of issues that were not discussed at the last GOP debate that need to come up. These are important things, I think, for Republicans to know, and for the American people to know, and for the American media to have to actually focus on. Now, they've tried to focus on one of them, that being the Tommy Tuberville abortion situation. But we'll talk about all of that here in just a quick second. First, though, how do we know there's going to be a debate in the great state of Alabama, which there definitely should be? Well,
no, I don't think he'll show up at the Reagan Library debate, Jonathan. And the reason I don't is, again, his pettiness and everything to him is personal. And so he's had a conflict for the last 8 years with the Reagan Library. He's insulted that he hasn't been invited to speak there. He doesn't like the chairman of the Reagan Foundation. And, all of that is more important to Donald Trump than giving Republican voters an opportunity to hear all of the candidates who want to be president compare their views up on the stage. So no, I don't believe he'll show up at the Reagan Library debate, but I keep my eye on the debate in Tuscaloosa, Alabama in October, because at that point he will have lost even more ground in the polls, in my view. And that's all Donald Trump cares about, is looking at the latest poll that he can see, and determining his conduct, not by what's right, not by what's fair to the Republican voters, but by he perceives in his personal interest. That's why he has no business being president again. But that's why I think he may show up in Alabama. But I do not expect to see him at the Reagan Library on September 27th.
Now, much can be made about Chris Christie's reasoning here if you want to go down that path. But wouldn't it make more sense instead to ask some serious questions at these debates? And putting one of these debates in the state of Alabama gives you the opportunity to ask those questions.
This is for you, Governor Christie. Do you believe that the recent spike in UFO encounters...
I get the UFO question?
Yeah, you do.
Come on, man.
But, okay, we've been hearing a lot of testimony in Congress, and people are taking this a lot more seriously, and we're hearing that, there are things going on that people aren't aware of. So, if you were president, Governor Christie, would you level with the American people about what the government knows about these possible encounters?
Martha, and especially coming from a woman from New Jersey, I think it's horrible that just because I'm from New Jersey, you asked me about unidentified flying objects.
What are those good questions? Well, I mentioned Tommy Tuberville earlier. He has a hold on military promotions and nominations. Why does he have that hold? Well, because Joe Biden has decided to break the law on the issue of abortion, funding it with the Pentagon dollars. That's a simple fact. Tommy Tuberville does not seem to be ready to give up on that anytime soon, and I support him, even though I don't agree with him on the issue of abortion directly. Irrelevant to the conversation, it's a question about presidential power, and when there is a law passed, you should have to follow that law. So I'd love to see that question asked. Not a hand-raising question, an actual question where they have a debate over not only the issue of abortion, which they touched on, but Tommy Tuberville's strategy. That would be nice to see. And then, of course, the Space Command being moved from Huntsville, which it was selected by the people who did the official search, to Colorado because Joe Biden wants to reward Colorado. No, that's it. That's the sole reason. There is no other better reason given. Having those discussions, showing what Joe Biden has been doing, is as important as knowing where these where these Republicans on that debate stage stand. So, hopefully, at that debate in Tuscaloosa, in Alabama, the third GOP presidential debate, they'll actually ask those questions and get some good answers. Either way, should be a good debate. Tuscaloosa is an amazing city. Alabama's lucky to have this, and I'm sure they will put on a good show.